Welcome back to the House of Faith and Fashion. Just in time for wedding season, I have co-creator of the most breathtaking bridal designs ever seen. Welcome entrepreneur, costume designer, wardrobe stylist, and 3 times New York Times best dressed, Talya Bendel. Thank you for visiting, Talya.
Hi.
Oh my
Hey.
God, Talya, I knew you would come on this show with a particular color hair. You look avatar-alicious. That's my new phrase for you. Please share your look with the audience.
Thank you, Toby. I actually wore this wig special for you because I was wearing this wig when we first met. And I knew if I was coming on the show, I had to represent. And I thought just the blue on the blue would be perfect.
You look breathtaking. Only you can make blue look really, really glamorous and not like a cartoon. You look absolutely amazing. But let's go right into your bridal collection and tell us how this all started.
So my partner, Esty Haas, and I, we got together actually through my sister, Yocheved Gross, who is a big hair person in the Jewish Orthodox bridal industry. And she and Esty were talking about how they wanted to do something really big. They wanted to do a show or something like that. And me having 15 years experience in the, I will call it mainstream fashion industry, it was kind of the perfect pairing. So Esty came and Yocheved came to me and they're like, how do we do something different than what we've been doing for the last 15 years? And we sort of had a meeting, discussed what we thought we could do. And then it all sort of just went from there.
Well, you definitely added some major bridal zhuzh. And I have to say congratulations, because now you're nominated for the Fashion Group International Rising Star. I was cheering you on because your collection is beautiful. But how was this received, besides me being so enthusiastic about it?
So thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Really did put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this collection. We really just went into it thinking that we were going to create something incredible. We wanted to design a world of, what we wanted to give to brides everywhere and anywhere. And the idea behind our collection is really there is something for everyone. So in terms of how the collection came to be, once we decided we were going to do a collection, we were going to do a show, and we were going to start a new brand, deciding on what our aesthetic was going to be was very important. And from the beginning of that till towards the end, where it's almost unbelievable how much happened in such a short period of time. And like to see our vision come to life in such a beautiful way. And it was received, honestly, so well. We are so overwhelmed with the amount of amazing feedback that we've been getting, and just all the press and excitement about the collection and the brand. And we couldn't be more happy with the feedback.
Well, I couldn't be more happy for you, even though I have no intentions of getting married again to put on any of the dresses. So I just have to pass on this enthusiasm to my friends or my daughter. It was just my wedding anniversary, and this last go round, I wore green Carolina Herrera as my gown. So
I saw that. It's stunning.
Thank you. I'm just going to give this up to the next generation. But how would you describe your personal style, Talya?
It would be very hard to describe my personal style. It's probably easier to describe how every day, every day is a new day. Every day is a day to, create and be however and whatever you want to be. And I do really internalize that and believe that. So let's say it'll start with anything. Like, if I were going to break down my personal style very specifically, I would say eclectic. I would say avant-garde. I would say not mainstream, not trendy. I would say it's really, I think that's how I would describe it. Eclectic and funky, definitely out of the box, though there is no box.
That's what I keep saying. There is no box. And with
there is no
box just spills out so many different colors and so many different looks. And it takes somewhat of a genius to be able to pull these kind of looks off and not look like a cartoon, but look so glamorous all the time. And I see your Instagram profile, and I see that you pull this off all the time, aside from the fact that you're the subject of inside my book, and your looks are fantastic. But before teaming up with Haas Bridal, can you share how incredible you are in the bigger picture of the fashion industry?
You are so kind. Yes. So I have 15 years in the fashion industry, working in both luxury fashion and also in doing wardrobe and styling for film and television and in the entertainment industry. My experience in luxury fashion, I worked for Christian Siriano for 2.5 years, starting
Wow.
off as an intern. Yeah. And then moving on to an associate in the showroom and in the a sales associate in the store, and then later making my way to becoming the store manager and running the company blog Siriano Shop Girl, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So would you say that was the best collaboration that you had, or can you share some better collaborations of stories with fashion icons? I mean, Christian Siriano is no small feat.
No,
He's
no,
amazing.
he's a genius. He's a genius. He's incredible. It was really a huge honor to work with that team and to work for Christian. It was a really great time. Since then, I have done a varied random. My portfolio is really funny because I can say that I've worked with Christian Siriano, but I've also worked with the Teletubbies and and Titus Burgess, and I've worked on many different kinds of sets in both styling and wardrobe aspects. Most recently, I would say a collaboration that I'm extremely proud of is I know you said before SD and I, but this was something we had just done with the Talya Bendel Bridal collection. We just designed a suit for Louis Miranda, who is Lin-Manuel Miranda's father, for the Blue Jacket fashion show. And that was such an honor for such an incredible organization. Blue Jacket Fashion Show is for prostate cancer awareness, and it was just a really big honor to be involved in that. So that would be a recent collaboration that I'm extremely proud of. Yeah.
No, that first of all, I was hoping that you're going to say that because I watched it and I think that's an amazing show. And the Blue Jacket show, I mean, you have some incredible people walking down the runway in blue jacket, ensembles made by various different designers, even like Tommy Hilfiger, and it's just amazing that you put that together. And I watched you watch your creation walk down the runway, which is amazing to see it through your eyes almost. It's incredible. But this is not your first collection, or your first runway collection. So can you elaborate if you've done any other runway collections?
I've done runway shows. Like I've worked when I was interning for stylists back when I was first starting. I definitely did runway shows for but not any, it wasn't Fashion Week per se, but I have experience with runway. In terms of my first collection, this collection is my first full collection that I designed and saw come to life. Even though my degree is in fashion design and I graduated a significant amount of time ago, I just hadn't had the opportunity to really create and to have a partner to work with on something. So this was for my first collection and for my debut as a designer. I couldn't have expected it to be better, honestly.
And I honestly agree with you, considering that it was on the CFDA calendar. So I'm not going to, you don't take that lightly, which is the Council of Fashion Designers of America, which is like the Academy Awards of the Fashion Society. So that was on an official calendar, which put it into a totally different atmosphere. But absolutely. I loved how you had a whole diverse type of runway with different type of body shapes. And you really, you balanced it so well. So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, for sure. That was actually so super intentional. We wanted to have a runway that represents everyone and anyone. We wanted our collection to read as there is something for everyone, as I mentioned, but very specifically that we don't only cater to one size or one style or one type. There are billions of people on the planet. You got to be able to provide for everyone, and everyone should be able to choose the thing that they want, not settle for what works. They should have what they want most. And we wanted to provide that. So even if you only saw a certain amount on the actual runway, we make everything in every size, in every style can be made in any size. And we will, that's one of our number one things, is that we wanted to provide for everyone.
It's fantastic. And tell me, when is the next season? What are you cooking up for the next go round? And how do you top what you already did?
So there is no topping it, but I will say that for a debut, I think we did massively. And for October, we have big plans, and we'll hopefully be able to share more on that soon. But October.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for bridal. I can't wait for bridal week so I could see what you come up with, because I can't even imagine. But you will definitely top the collection that your debut collection, I should say. So what
Amen.
advice can you give on believing in yourself? What does that look like for you? Because it takes a lot to do all this. It's not as easy as just how you're speaking. So can you share?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest gift you can give yourself ever, and I'm only like realizing this right now as I'm saying it, but it's the truth. The biggest gift you can give yourself is believing in yourself. Because the minute you believe in yourself, every single door opens. Like you will know that there is nothing stopping you. There is no reason that you cannot go and achieve your goals. If you have the ability to get up in the morning and go right or left when you walk out of your bed, you have freedom of choice. And if you have that one freedom, you can make any decision for the rest of your life. Not everybody has that, and that's 100%. And that's, but being able to recognize what you are able to do opens the door into realizing you can do anything. You really, really can. You just need to not accept no. You can get 1,000 no's. You need one yes.
I can say hallelujah to that moment. Absolutely. You're 100% right. That's the faith inside of you. So now let's talk about the other movement that you're involved in, which is the efforts against anti-gossiping movement. Can you elaborate on what that is?
So so the term lashon hara, which is evil speech, so to speak, gossiping, is something that it's something very close to my heart. It's something that I hold very high in my caliber of how I speak with my friends, speak with my family, what I'm okay with being around. And I have a very strict no gossip policy in terms of I'm not trying to spend my time talking about other people. I'm trying to spend time talking about my ideas, your ideas, what's going on in the world, things like that. I think that gossip only causes pain and hurt and suffering, and people don't realize that gossip snowballs. It's not just one thing. You're not just telling one friend this and this and that friend's telling the other friend, and it turns into broken telephone, and there's no way to trace it, and it just causes problems for everyone, honestly. And it's really just, it's a bad, people gossip, they're like, you gotta gossip. Sure, everybody has to have somebody that they're able to talk to about anything and be able to, you should be able to rant or vent to, close friends and family and stuff like that. But when it comes to speaking ill of other people or even just judging other people, like it says a lot to me if I'm going to meet somebody and then I hear them talking about other people. Like it says something to me about how you are as a person. And I typically don't judge people. I'm not a judgy person. That's part of like the whole idea of this. But if you're going to be someone that talks a lot of, junk about other people, I'm not going to want to be in that circle.
I totally understand. You'd rather be surrounded by people that nurture you, not try and destroy you. There's this thing, who your friends are when they talk about you when you're not in the room. So I understand that. I understand the terminology lashon hara, which means bad language, bad speaking about somebody else, and that could be so detrimental. But what I could align myself with is that sometimes there are personalities are misunderstood, especially, if you have blue hair or if you're wearing a sparkle dress during the day with your earrings, you could be misunderstood, and misunderstood could then parlay into something that would be a bad language. So I totally understand that you want to be surrounded by people that get you, nurture you, even admire you or want to know what you're doing next. So I get why you're in this lane when it's no gossiping. So do you have like a big sign in your showroom that says just no gossip here?
It's no gossip here. I actually want to put like a plaque outside my house that says no gossiping.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But it's funny because this is connected to your other question about having faith in yourself, because I think that when it comes to evil speech or like negative speech or bad speech, it's not only about like when you speaking about other people, but it's also how you speak about yourself. Because there are a lot of people that will say things like, oh, I'm so dumb, or I'm so stupid, or why did I do da-da-da-da? I don't talk about that. I don't talk like that about myself. I will not say those words about myself. I will not call myself dumb. And if I accidentally do, I will immediately follow up with, no, I am smart. Because the more you speak things, and I truly believe that what you say has power, very much. And I think that the more you put out into the world, especially with speech, which it might not be physical, but you hear it. It's something you can quantify speech in a way. And the more negative you put out there, the more negative you're going to believe. So that's why another thing that I try to practice is, if you're not going to be able to sell yourself in, like, if you can't speak positively about yourself and promote yourself positively, that is a big part of having faith in yourself enough to be able to promote. So if you have enough faith, you don't speak ill about yourself, and you're able to promote in a positive way, I think that is just a combination that will make anybody successful.
Yes, I totally agree. And that's a great tip, especially in the fashion industry. If you're, part of your personality comes out in your collection, you really are, like, people don't understand how emotional it is to actually put together a collection and put it out on the runway. It's like giving birth to your child and letting everybody else view it as they walk down the runway. So I totally understand the emotion that goes out, so that you don't want to be in any kind of minefield of people sabotaging it with either being judgmental, not understanding, or simply just saying, you know what, I can't stand it, and parlaying it into something really bad. So what's next for Talya?
Ooh, I don't know. Well, I constantly have different projects going on. I have personal projects that I'm working on. Hopefully I'll be able to talk about soon. I'm going to be starting a series. I haven't spoken about this at all to anybody yet. I can't believe I'm saying it here.
You're getting your TV show, or you're styling a TV show?
Oh no, so it's going to be like a YouTube series. And it's something I've been working on for the last 2 years, and it's sort of like a personal art project, but it's going to be it's a lifelong project. So hopefully I will have more information on that soon, but that's very exciting.
That is very exciting. That is very exciting. So now I'm going to go into my faith-based questions, because I've got, how much faith, I mean, I know you answered this already, but how much faith you need to be in business? Because from your answers, it's enormous.
So it really depends. You have to have faith, number one, and your faith should not be wavering. Having skepticism about how you will be successful is not having faith in yourself. You can have faith in yourself, and then there are elements that come around, that come your way. Kind of like with us building this brand and creating the collection, there were so many different learning moments where we had to be like, okay, wait 1 second. And that doesn't mean that you don't have faith in yourself or don't think that you can be successful, but I think that once you know that you can get the job done and that you have something to share or show or sell that you fully, truly believe in, you don't only have to believe in yourself, you also have to believe in your product and what 100%. You're selling and what you're doing. So once you have that, things happen, things come into people's way. But in terms of having personal faith in yourself, you must believe in your product and what you're selling and what you're saying, and you must believe in yourself. And that, I think, is that's the only way. I mean, there are statistics about how many businesses get started and fail within the first year, 5 years, and 10 years. And the numbers are very, very little. But I think one thing that's very important is that there are people that are the ones that are successful, and the ones that are not successful are not because they can't do it. A lot of people give up too soon.
This is true. You have to be able to get into the trenches and stay there and navigate a minefield, because there's no such thing as a straight line to success. It's impossible. 100%. And that especially in a creative environment like fashion, where things could be in style and you could be loved from one season and you're dumped the following season. So I understand it's a very volatile industry. But do you think that your talents are God-given?
So it's funny because I mentioned this in the book, and it was great because it really made me realize something also. I think that talent is God-given, but skill is something that you work on and you build as you go. Like I was born with a great voice, but I was not born knowing how to sew a dress.
Wow.
So skill can be built and turned into talent, but talent, natural talent, that is God-given.
So please describe how a person should dress to a house of worship, even though I know your answer, but tell us.
So my answer is I can't answer that. The way that I would answer that is that I think that depending on where you're going, and this is just across the board, no matter how you dress, no matter how you look, if you're going to a certain place that is a house of worship and you know the demographic and the market and what and who are going to be there, you have two options. You can either dress like everyone else or dress as close to in a respectful way, or you dress how you want to dress and it won't necessarily be, you know, your best. I would say that, and it is a tough question to answer, and I have my answer.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
I think that people should dress the way that makes them feel happy and safe, and they're able to be their best selves. I don't think people should dress and feel, you know, bogged down, and I feel sad when people are only dressing a certain way because they feel they have to, and they're not exploring ways to dress in that within those guidelines, and they don't realize that there are ways to still be able to express yourself and dress within certain guidelines. But when it comes to a house of worship, and I would say that you can, it is to be respectful is a massive thing. Do you have freedom of choice? Can you dress how you want? Sure. But to be respectful, I think, is definitely something that is, you know, would be highly like the thing to do. I think it would be, if you're going to go to a certain place, it's like when you go to a certain house, they want your shoes off, you know, like you're not going to wear your shoes in a house that's shoeless, that's shoes off house. So it's kind of the same thing.
Shoes off house, yes. Okay.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
To everybody usually gives me shorter answers, like boom, 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 boom. But I had a feeling that you would have an elongated answer. It's kind of like, it's Italia, but if, you know, I could be respectful, but I could still have blue hair if I go in and stand out. But I understand it's a very, very fine line. You know, I didn't even talk about the fact that your American Idol voice thing, your just all that stuff. So tell everybody where to find the collective combinations of all of Talya.
Okay, well, to start, you can find my full collection for Talya Bendel Bridal at talyabendelbridal.com. You can see the entire collection, send us messages, ask us anything, we are available. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it is also Talya Bendel-Bridal. And you can find my personal page, which is Carpe Fashion DM, which Carpe Diem is Latin for seize the day. Right. And basically it means that every day is a good enough excuse to get up, get dressed, have amazing experiences, and every day is a good enough opportunity to like learn and grow and see and meet new things and people. And I do really believe that, like with every fiber of my being. So you can find me at Carpe Fashion DM on Instagram.
Wonderful. I hope that everybody enjoyed this interview as much as I did, because you are really a colorful, delightful, artistic, and very smart woman. You've just got everything going for you, and I'm not even saying that because I have to say that. It's really so true. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back on the House of Faith and Fashion after these messages.
Hi, everybody. I'm Fern Malice. I was the creator of New York Fashion Week, and now I have a consulting business. And I'm also the author of Fashion Icons by Fern Malice. And I have books 1 and 2, which are fabulous, full of great interviews. You can buy the book set at Nordstrom, or buy the books independently at Amazon or other great booksellers. You can follow me on Instagram and find out more about my events and everything I'm doing. It's at Fern Malice. And I'm happy to be here on the Connect Network TV.